It is all in for automaking in Canada. So it is supporting Toyota, Honda that are producing 77% of all our...
From the lesson of what's been happening over the course of the last year, that the previous...
Good evening. One of the largest defense contractors in Europe is making a play for a piece of this country's military.
Is Canada really turning its back on its closest ally? The whispers from Ottawa suggest a groundbreaking shift. An elite European jet, the Rolls-Royce Gripen, is on the table, potentially sidelining American defense giants. Could this move redefine Canada's military alliances for decades to come? Canada's defense strategy just got a major plot twist. Forget what you thought you knew about North American defense integration. The focus is now squarely on Europe, with the formidable Gripen fighter. This isn't just about a new plane, it's a strategic bombshell that could send shockwaves through Washington and Brussels. Discover the real reason Canada is eyeing the Rolls-Royce Gripen and what it means for the future of North American defense. This isn't just about procurement, it's about a high-stakes geopolitical chess match where Canada is making unexpected moves. Uncover the untold story behind Canada's potential shift from American to European military hardware.
For years, Canada's fighter jet decision looked settled, locked, signed, and moving forward. So why is the Gripen suddenly back in the conversation? At first glance, it feels like a story that should have ended already. Canada had evaluated options, weighed alliances, and appeared committed to a path aligned closely with North American defense structures. Yet today, defense circles are buzzing again, and the return of the Gripen to strategic discussions is raising eyebrows across both sides of the Atlantic. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Behind closed doors, military planners are confronting a rapidly changing security landscape. Arctic tensions are rising. NATO commitments are expanding. Modern warfare is evolving faster than procurement cycles can keep up. In that environment, even decisions once considered final can quietly reopen. Analysts are split. Some see the renewed interest as a calculated move, leverage in negotiations perhaps, a way for Canada to signal that it has options. Others believe it reflects something deeper, a growing desire for operational independence. The Gripen has long been marketed as a fighter designed for flexibility, lower operating costs, and sovereign control, qualities that appeal to nations wanting capability without overdependence. But critics aren't convinced. They argue that shifting attention towards a European platform could complicate interoperability with North American defense systems. In modern coalition warfare, compatibility isn't a luxury, it's survival. So the real question begins to emerge. Is Canada simply exploring alternatives or quietly redefining its defense identity? Because this story was never just about selecting the best aircraft. It's about how Canada sees its role in a world where alliances are evolving, great power competition is intensifying, and middle powers are increasingly expected to carry more of their own weight. Choosing a fighter jet is, in many ways, choosing a strategic future. And if the Gripen is truly back on the table, then Canada may be signaling that its defense philosophy is shifting from automatic alignment towards calculated autonomy. The gambit has begun. Hovering over this entire debate is a question that refuses to go away. If the F-35 is considered one of the most advanced fighter jets ever built, why would Canada even look elsewhere? To understand that, we need to rewind. Canada's journey with the F-35 has never been straightforward. What began as early participation in the program gradually turned into years of political debate, budget scrutiny, and public accountability battles. Governments changed, priorities shifted, reviews were launched, paused, and relaunched again. This wasn't indecision for the sake of it, it reflected a deeper national dilemma. How do you balance cutting-edge capability with financial responsibility? Because the F-35 isn't just a fighter jet, it's an ecosystem. Its stealth, sensor fusion, and network-centric warfare capabilities place it firmly in the next generation of combat aviation. In high-threat environments, it doesn't just fight, it sees first, connects faster, and strikes smarter. But dominance comes at a price. Critics have long pointed to life cycle costs, not just procurement, but decades of maintenance, upgrades, and logistical dependence. Advanced technology often means advanced expenses, and for a country managing vast geography with a relatively modest defense budget, sustainability matters just as much as raw power. This is where the Gripen enters the conversation again, not necessarily as a superior jet, but as a different philosophy. Supporters highlight lower operating costs, faster turnaround times, and the ability to operate from dispersed locations, a feature some strategists see as valuable in Arctic or contingency scenarios. There's also the argument of industrial participation and greater domestic control over certain technical aspects. So the debate quietly shifts from which jet is stronger to something far more strategic: which jet fits Canada's long-term reality? Yet capability isn't the only variable here. Interoperability may be the most sensitive factor of all.
Canada doesn't defend its skies alone. Through deeply integrated defense structures across North America, coordination is constant, immediate, and non-negotiable. In a real-world crisis, seconds matter, and seamless communication between aircraft, radar networks, and command systems can define the outcome. Introducing a non-American platform wouldn't automatically break that integration. Modern systems are designed to collaborate, but it could introduce layers of complexity. Training pipelines, software compatibility, data sharing protocols, all would demand careful alignment. And in defense planning, complexity is risk. Which brings us back to the shadow the F-35 casts over this entire discussion. Choosing it reinforces continental unity and technological supremacy. Looking beyond it signals something more nuanced, perhaps a willingness to diversify, hedge, and think independently. So the real tension isn't about rejecting America's best. It's about whether Canada believes strategic security comes from maximum capability or optimized flexibility. And that is not just a procurement decision, it's a doctrine decision.
If the Gripen conversation is gaining altitude, it may not be happening for technical reasons alone. It could be geopolitical, because across the Atlantic, something significant is unfolding. Europe is quietly rethinking how it defends itself. For decades, European security leaned heavily on American military power, but recent global shocks, shifting priorities in Washington, and prolonged regional conflicts have pushed European nations to invest more aggressively in their own defense ecosystems. Strategic autonomy, once a policy buzzword, is now edging toward reality. So where does Canada fit into this changing equation? Traditionally, Canada's defense posture has been anchored firmly within the North American sphere, but Ottawa has never seen itself as just a regional actor. It has long balanced a dual identity, geographically tied to the US, yet historically and politically connected to Europe. A fighter partnership with Sweden wouldn't automatically redraw alliances, but symbols matter in geopolitics, and procurement choices often speak louder than diplomatic statements. A European platform could signal that Canada is comfortable broadening its strategic relationships, not replacing old ones, but complementing them. Then there's the economic dimension, one that rarely grabs headlines but heavily influences defense decisions. Modern fighter deals are no longer simple purchases, they are industrial partnerships. Saab has traditionally emphasized technology transfer, local production opportunities, and domestic industry participation in its export pitches. For Canada, that raises an attractive possibility. Defense spending that circulates back into the national economy, supports high-skilled jobs, and strengthens aerospace capability at home.
Canada doesn't defend its skies alone. Through deeply integrated defense structures across North America, coordination is constant, immediate, and non-negotiable. In a real-world crisis, seconds matter, and seamless communication between aircraft, radar networks, and command systems can define the outcome. Introducing a non-American platform wouldn't automatically break that integration. Modern systems are designed to collaborate, but it could introduce layers of complexity. Training pipelines, software compatibility, data sharing protocols, all would demand careful alignment. And in defense planning, complexity is risk. Which brings us back to the shadow the F-35 casts over this entire discussion. Choosing it reinforces continental unity and technological supremacy. Looking beyond it signals something more nuanced, perhaps a willingness to diversify, hedge, and think independently. So the real tension isn't about rejecting America's best. It's about whether Canada believes strategic security comes from maximum capability or optimized flexibility. And that is not just a procurement decision, it's a doctrine decision.
Beneath the fighter jet debate lies a structure so foundational that most Canadians rarely think about it, yet it operates every single day, silently guarding one of the largest airspaces on Earth. North American Aerospace Defense Command, better known as NORAD, is not just a military agreement. It is one of the deepest defense integrations anywhere in the world. For over 6 decades, Canada and the United States have watched the skies together. Radar networks stretch across the Arctic, command structures are intertwined, threat detection is shared in real time. In practical terms, continental defense is not parallel, it is fused, which is why even the possibility of introducing a non-American frontline fighter naturally raises strategic eyebrows. Not alarm bells, but questions. Would a different platform complicate coordination? Could software architectures align seamlessly? Would joint missions remain frictionless in moments where hesitation simply isn't an option? Modern militaries are designed for interoperability, and Sweden-built aircraft already operate within NATO frameworks. Technically, integration is achievable, but defense planning isn't just about what can work, it's about what works instantly, under pressure, at scale. Shared intelligence adds another layer to this equation. Today's air defense isn't defined by speed alone, it's defined by information dominance. Aircraft function as flying data nodes, constantly feeding and receiving battlefield awareness. When platforms speak the same digital language, response times shrink. When they don't, even slightly, complexity grows.
And complexity, in security doctrine, is something planners try relentlessly to eliminate. Yet stepping back reveals a bigger strategic possibility. What if this isn't about deviating from continental defense, but strengthening it differently? Military thinkers increasingly warn against over-reliance on any single system or supplier. Resilience now means diversification, ensuring that if one supply chain falters, another holds. From that perspective, exploring multiple defense partnerships could be seen less as a shift away from North America and more as an insurance policy for an unpredictable century. Because the threats Canada faces tomorrow may not resemble the ones it planned for yesterday. Hypersonic weapons, autonomous systems, gray zone aggression, rapid technological disruption. Future wars may reward nations that are not just powerful, but adaptable. So perhaps the real question isn't whether Canada is drifting from its continental commitment. It's this: is Ottawa preparing for a defense environment where adaptability becomes the ultimate deterrent? After all, alliances remain strongest not when they resist evolution, but when they evolve together. And if Canada is recalibrating anything, it may not be loyalty, it may be readiness.
Step back from the technical debates, and a larger pattern emerges. Fighter jets are never just about air combat. They are declarations of intent. Every major defense purchase answers a quiet question: what role does a country see for itself in the decades ahead? Canada has long favored caution in defense, but today's world is less stable. Rising power competition, Arctic stakes, cyber risks, and alliance expectations are pushing planners towards modernization, readiness, and flexibility. Even exploring alternatives signals not a dramatic shift, but a subtle strategic adjustment. Procurement often previews future foreign policy. Nations buy for the world they expect, not the one they have. If Canada is broadening partnerships, the message is clear: prepare for complexity, uncertainty, and a multipolar landscape. The impact goes beyond the military, shaping innovation, jobs, and technological independence at home, while demanding careful diplomatic balance abroad. Perhaps Canada is moving towards a defense identity defined by calibrated autonomy, grounded in preparedness, partnerships, and strategic clarity. Because in modern defense planning, the most important capability is foresight. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown useful and want to follow future updates, consider supporting the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.